Hello and welcome to All My Art and Soul. Today's video is how to create your own collage papers part 2. And as you can see, there's a new batch that I've created with the tools so far is a brayer, some just items that you can stamp to make any circles, foam, leftover mailing, anything of interest that you might find around the house as well. Yes, the old Q-tips in an odd number taped to any kind of cylinder, a knitting needle, an aluminum pipe, and of course the catalyst tools that are a rubber and very, very good. That one's a smooth one. The other one has a toothed edge that gets farther apart. It creates a really neat thing, which is mostly better to use on a jelly print printer, and some other things that I have. I use the clear plastics and of course leftover cooking items, whatever you might find that you like the mark that it makes. And this takes time to go through different marks, different stamping tools, so you develop a preference. And as you can see, I'm using a simple crafting acrylic though, paint, and just a very narrow paintbrush, and I'm just painting simple stripes. There's something about simple patterns, and also depending on the style or what you're painting that come through. Sometimes you want a manufactured look, or it doesn't matter, but I like that crafted, that imperfect approach. And this is a large piece of butcher's paper, mailing paper you can call it too. You get it in a roll. So I'm just using black and white on a neutral. And why a neutral? Because I want some selections for my neutral backgrounds so that it can show a subtle difference. And that's what we're going for in our work. Differences. May they be subtle or high contrast. So simple circles. In retrospect now, looking at it, I wish I did not overlap, but it's a learning process. So it's just a 3 grid, and then I go and overlap the circles, most likely from the previous stenciling paper that I've used before in the videos that are black on white. So you just go through it. You can do different patterns on the same piece of paper. It just changes up the boredom. Not that you're getting bored, but it's just the repetition. So I'm using a round sponge on the end, and these are stamping tools that you buy in the stamping. I can't think right now. In Michael's anyway, and they've got so many different little items. I can't wait till we can go back in and shop for ourselves. But as you can see, the aluminum pipe here, any cylindrical object that makes an interesting mark is very useful. And of course, it's the repetition and how you repeat it. I really like these open circles, and I like how they contrast with the closed ones. So keeping that in mind on an artwork might look really interesting. And I think doing the circles also in white and black, even alternating them, white, black, might even work. So you just do one batch at a time, and select a simple palette, as you can see. One is teal, orange, and Titan buff, and some ochre and black and white. And the Q-tips on a cylinder taped like that, I borrowed from another artist, one of my mentor artists, Adele, and she is magnificent. You should check her out. So we're moving on to just pouring out some random black and rolling it with the brayer, because when it spreads, you just never know what kind of interesting mark it's going to make. And then I think I added just some more little random dots in the middle just to change that up. It's really amazing how much collage papers you can make in one sitting. And of course, this is where you need to, or should, or can explore. What do I want to do now? What kind of mark could I make with this item? Or using your left hand, or using crayon, anything. But today I chose to use the stamping tools, and this one turns out really good. And as you can see, I have the one that I really love in the upper left hand corner, and now I do believe it was a paper towel roll or a Dixie cup, depending on the crisp edge. Now this one is really interesting because the foam, of course, it's much thicker, and the way I'm overlapping them has sort of a interesting sort of like chainmail effect. Not that you would even recognize it as such once you tear it up into pieces and use those collage pieces in your artwork. So I'm just playing, and so as I'm going along and making these different patterns, using inexpensive materials for your collage papers is probably the best way to go. The type of paper that I'm using, this is a piece of cartridge paper. It's just the kind that you would find in schools, like drawing paper, and it's a little heavier. I'm using newsprint, and I'm using tracing paper, and straight, nice white, bright copy paper. Laser paper would also be interesting, but I'm wondering how it would take the paint. I have to definitely try it. So then this is a piece of tracing paper, and I just wanted some brighter colors, and I am going to be moving into some more brighter colors. Again, simple stripes. You could use circles, and as you can see, you just have your pile of paper on the left, and you stack it so you can grab it, and you don't have to overthink. You're just reacting. And that's sort of, yeah, and you want to just press lightly, quickly, and you might cut that out and use it as the same shape, the size of that shape. You could repeat and overlap, and it's just sort of random. It's a very organic, oh, that's really cool, sort of symmetrical. And at this point, I don't know where I would use that. All I know is that I want or need is a variety of black and white patterns. You might want orange and white, or pink and orange, but this is a good way to experiment with your color combinations and your values and your marks. And the brayer, just totally unexpected. I had no idea, but I know that I love those colors together. Okay. So you can use these. I use my collage papers on my canvas work, on the cradle boards, and I like to explore a lot of a lot with them in my abstract art journal pages, which you've probably are watching now. If you haven't seen them yet, take a peek. And don't forget to look at the previous series, which was a series of positive affirmation journal pages, which started with just a positive affirmation, and then you just have that intention and off you go with a selection of papers and colors. So I think I might return and do another series of that. Oh, that pink is fabulous. But now, looking at that, mixing your paint a little bit too might also be helpful, more than just taking it straight from the container, changing the value, adding a different blue. These colors here, mixing them together a bit more. I think I'll be experimenting a little more with color in the next batch of collage papers. So as you can see, I put a little bit of teal in with that turquoise. And so now I'm adding the white, going across in a simple grid kind of formation. And I realized that I wanted some more texture on this. So if I do just tear a section, there's something more to look at in contrast. And the contrast with the turquoise and black, I really like. I use that a lot, the turquoise color in my work. I'm not sure about this, but anything old lying around, definitely you can cover it up. Don't forget, when you add another layer on top, it pushes the previous layer back. So you may not want to totally cover. This is a thing that I used to do, and I don't do that anymore. I've regretted it a lot because what shows through underneath adds so much more interest to the layers on top. And it's during these sessions when you're making a batch of collage papers to really explore your layering, your values, your marks, your colors, and the different shapes and the different combinations. And so here I'm adding some more turquoise to the teal combination, and I'm going to end up with a very light colored. That's another thing. You might want to have a variety of very light colored collage papers, contrasting with black and white. I love black and white. As you can see, those pieces above are still my favorite. But you just never know. You want to have quite a variety to choose from. And so when you're finished and you have a bunch of collage papers, I usually organize them according to color so that they're easy to find. And here's the batch that I made for this video, at least for this series. I'm going to make another one. I think I need some more transparent and more black and white variety. If you like this content, please hit the like button and subscribe. And here is a previous bunch that I've also made. So I'll see you in the next video.